Hello my lovely Flosstube friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren, also known as Cross Stitch Bunny, here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Lovely to be back today for my mid-month update. We are on the 15th, yes, the 15th of March. So I am right in the middle of the month, right on time. And I do have some nice stitching to share with you today, but I also feel like my head is just exploding with so much life update. I'm not usually one for hugely long life updates, but I do have quite a lot of news to share. Some good and some not so good, and I am going to cover that today as well. But I have 4 projects to share with you stitching wise, and also a lovely little bit of haul. So yes, I will get started. We will start with the stitching because that is a really good place to start. For whips, I have not done as much stitching as I would like this month, unfortunately, because I have had a bit of a health scare in terms of my eyes. So yeah, I may as well tell you this before I go into the stitching. There is less stitching than usual because yeah, in these first couple of weeks of March, I started having some really bad problems with my eyes. They were very painful. I was waking up with them just streaming, terribly uncomfortable. Like when I closed my eyes to go to bed at night, they just felt like I wanted to scratch my eyes out. I was getting really worried. They were really red. And I'd thought several weeks ago, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, that maybe I was getting some conjunctivitis because I had like a bit of redness in my eyes. They were a bit sore, and I'd started treating with the antibiotic drops for conjunctivitis, but they weren't really having an effect. So I discontinued those after about a week because they didn't seem to be helping. I thought, oh, it must be something else. And then it just got worse and worse and worse. And it ended in me having an emergency optician's appointment last weekend even. And yeah, they decided that there was something not right, something was definitely going on with my eyes, and they referred me straight to the eye hospital. So on Saturday, Adam had to drive me over to the eye hospital. We had to dump the kids onto parents, and it was straight to the eye hospital with a couple of conditions that are hard to pronounce that the optician suspected I might have developed in my eyes, which were both very scary, can both lead to permanent vision loss if not treated. So obviously I was in a huge panic, like anyone would be in a huge panic, but as a stitcher, and stitching being my hobby and such a big part of my life, you know, our main tools other than our brain are our hands and our eyes. And I was beside myself. I was so worried. I spent quite a lot of hours waiting around at the eye hospital, but I saw a really good ophthalmologist who checked me out. And they actually concluded that I had a really severe, nasty case of what they call dry eye, which doesn't sound very scary at all. But I had it very severely, and it was awful, absolutely awful. He said that it's something that I'm going to have to live with. It's not curable, and it's never going to go away. It can happen. They don't know why it's happened to me, but I do have that. And it will never fully resolve, but what they wanted to do is treat it in the short term to really combat the severe flare-up that I was having. So I have been on 5 different kinds of eye medication drops since Saturday. So today is Friday, so almost a week. It's been almost a week that I've been on a whole cocktail of eye medications, and within the first 2 days they really started to work, and their main goal was to like bring the inflammation in my eyes down, treat any secondary infections, because apparently if you've got this condition it can then lead to more chance of general eye infections because you're more prone to things getting into your eyes when you've got this dry eye condition. So yeah, it's been a very interesting start to the month, and obviously because of all that my stitching has been reduced, and it looks like that is going to be the case for a little while, unfortunately. So I am sad about it. but at the same time I need to take care of my eyes, and right now I've got to try and minimize stressing my eyes too much. Like, the medications are working wonders, but I'm only on a couple of them for 2 weeks, and then I will drop down to being on like 2 others on a permanent basis, but they will not be antibiotics and they will not be steroids, which is what I'm having to take at the moment. So once the steroids and the antibiotics have finished, the hope is that I will have like got over this flare up, and that I can maintain the condition going forward with other drops that are all about eye lubrication and keeping my eyes very well lubricated, but they are prescription and not ones that you can just buy. They're like slightly different, specifically for dry eye. So yes, my stitching career has not been cut drastically short, which I'm relieved about, but I've got to be so careful, and I need to stop doing so much evening stitching with my artificial light. That can like obviously stress your eyes out a little bit more than stitching in natural light. And of course, with 2 little children and busy, lots of things going on to do in the daytime, the majority of my stitching is usually done in the evening. So for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be stitching a lot less, and I'm just going to have to try and like introduce evening stitching back into my routine gradually, and not push myself, and maybe even just pick it up for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, see how I feel the next day when I wake up, see if it's aggravated my eyes. And I'm just going to have to keep moving forward like that. So yes, that is the pretty depressing explanation of why I'm not going to have too much stitching going on in the very near future. I'm just going to have to be really careful. Yes, so with that said, very long explanation. I have worked on 4 projects since I last saw you, so we will take a look at those. My first project to share with you this month is in relation to Whip Go. So my Whip Go goals for the month of March are: first goal, stitch for 5 hours on something seasonal. And technically we are still in winter. We have still been in winter up to this point. I believe that spring officially starts tomorrow on the 16th. So I picked out a winter project to stitch on for my Whip Go goal number 1. And check it's the right way up. It is. This is what I picked. So I wanted to stitch on something wintry, and I picked Silver Hoof Frost by Owl Forest. I am stitching this on 32 count blue spruce Belfast linen from Zweigart, which is the recommended fabric. I'm stitching it in all the Owl Forest threads that are like lovely and variegated. There are only 3 different colours of thread in this, so it's got like this blue, which is the predominant colour and sort of is graduated, so some of it is paler. You've got the very white thread for all the snow, and then you have this darker blue, which again has nice variegation, but this darker blue that's in the trees, the little characters, yeah, and these motifs here. So really loving this. It's been a really enjoyable stitch, and I have achieved my 5 hours. So I've literally done my 5 hours on it, and then I stopped. So Whip Go goal number 1 is ticked off my list, and we're halfway through the month, so that is great. It leaves me the rest of the month to work on Whip Go goal number 2, which I haven't started yet. Whip Go goal number 2 is to stitch for 5 hours on any fancy lady whip that I've already got on the go. For the reasons I've just mentioned, I don't know if that's going to happen. And obviously at the moment, goals are not my priority. My priority is still being able to stitch as and when I can without stressing my eyes out too much and having a relapse. So yes, at least I've got 1 Whip Go goal ticked off the list. It remains to be seen whether I do pick up a fancy lady or not. I might just stick to stitching things that are more simple, things that aren't too challenging, things on Ada that are on like an easy account to work with, which leads me nicely onto whip number 2 to share with you, which is my alphabet whip. So you guys are familiar with this one. I have been working on this for quite some time, and while this isn't a Whip Go goal, it is like just a personal goal that I've set myself to do 5 letters a month on this until it's finished. I have managed to stay on track with that so far this year, and I should be doing 5 letters in March, 5 letters in April, and then it will be finished. So I have done a little bit on this, but I am nowhere near my 5-letter goal for the month. It hasn't happened. I have done a little bit. So last time you saw it, I had skipped the letter P and started with Q for quail, which I had completed because it was just easier to do the quail first with the layout, and I have now started the pig. Ooh, my hair stuck to it. I have now started the pig. So I did the is it the P up here. I've started the pig, and I also backstitched the word quail, which was missing. That backstitch was missing last time you saw it. So I can stretch this out. It is looking pretty good. It is definitely coming together. Not too much left to do. You know, I'm well over halfway at this point. And I am thinking that this is going to be a lovely one for me to work on, because I'm stitching this, it's a kit, a Stitchworkes kit, and I'm stitching it on the kit provided Ada, which is a 14 count Ada with huge holes, white, very good contrast with the colours, very easy for me to see. Yeah, this is going to be a really good one for me to work on because it's so easy to stitch. So I think this one will be seeing a reasonable amount of hours over the coming weeks, because it'll be a very nice one for me to stitch on easily. Even if I do attempt some evening stitching, which I haven't done any evening stitching since my trip to the hospital. I've just been grabbing bits of time in the day, and that's it. Like, evenings have been no stitching, which, like I said, is really depressing, but also has been necessary. It's really been necessary. So yeah, I'm hoping to get some more done on that, because it is such a nice stitch to work on. Very simple, stress-free stitching for my eyes. Next up is another wintry whip. So this is the lovely Polar Bear Express design by Flossabilities. Lauren's got some lovely patterns. If you check out her Etsy store, this is the first of her patterns that I have purchased, and I pretty much started stitching on it straight away, made some really nice progress at the back end. I think it was the back end of last year that I started this, and I've done a little bit more. So at the moment, I have 3 polar bears who are not quite complete, but we are getting very close. He still needs a little bit of a face. There's some scarf to finish, but it is this bear that I have worked on since you last saw this piece. At the moment, everything that I've stitched is in DMC. There are some like fancy overdyed flossers called for in this pattern. I do have those, but I haven't got to the part where they are used yet. So at the moment, this is all stitched in DMC. I am using 32 count Belfast linen in the colour Smoky Pearl, which is the called for. And I have a feeling that last time I showed you this whip, I may have told you that it was stitched on Blue Spruce by Zweigart. I think I got mixed up with my wintry whips. If I did, I apologise, and this is definitely not Blue Spruce. It is on Smoky Pearl. So 3 lovely little bears. The track is starting to come together. And yeah, really pleased with how this one is progressing. So that is whip number 3. There was no particular goal in mind for this. I just thought that it might be nice to get some of my wintry whips out of the way before winter finished. And I picked up and started working on this one at the very beginning of May, before May? Getting my months mixed up. Picked it up at the very beginning of March before I had all these issues that exploded. And I really thought I might just power through it and get it finished. That's not going to happen now, but that was my intention. And still, there's not a huge amount of stitches left to go into this, maybe like 2,500 stitches. So I might still plod along with this despite the fact that I have missed the end of winter. My last one to share with you today is Spring Awakens. So this is the Summer House Stitchworkes seasonal series of 4 patterns. I have already stitched winter. That is finished, and I started working on spring last spring, and then it got shelved and put away and hasn't seen the light of day. I thought with us getting close to spring 2024 that I would get it out again and give it a bit of attention. And again, it's not a very big design. I had all these plans that I might finish this in time for tomorrow, the 16th, when it's officially spring. So I could put it on my Instagram and be like, happy spring everyone, I've got a spring finish already. Not meant to be, not going to happen, but I have made a little bit of progress since you last saw it. This bit that's rolled up is my winter that's finished. This is the bit for spring. And again, not a huge amount of progress, but small progress is still progress, and I have put a little bit of stitching into this one. This is all being stitched with, I believe, Royal Broidery threads in the DMC colour equivalents. I'm stitching this on 32 count printed fabric from my own Stitch Bunny shop. And I'm pretty sure, looking at it, that it's a 32 count. Not got my notes in front of me. I'm pretty sure it's 32 count. And this is either stone washed or nostalgia, off the top of my head, from my shop. Like I said, this has been in hiding for about the best part of a year and I've not got my notes to hand, but it's either stone washed or nostalgia. Pretty confident. And this is a print, so it's just like a very, very neutral print, sort of an off-white with sort of darker mottling, but it is very subtle. It is a subtle print. So that is Spring Awakens. So that is all the stitching I've done. Not a very huge Stitchy update today, but I'm sure that you will understand why. And I do think that for the foreseeable future, I will see how I get on. If I surprise myself and manage to get some more daytime stitching in, then maybe I'll have more to share and can actually still keep up with my bi-weekly updates. But if not, I may drop my Flosstube episodes down to monthly for a little while, because usually I have so much stitching to share and show. If that's not the case and I'm not really getting a lot done, it doesn't make much sense to film every 2 weeks, which has become my routine. So we will see. What I do have to show you, as well as my stitching, is some lovely, lovely bits of haul. So the first thing I'd like to share with you is this gorgeous book, My Cross Stitch Doll by Susan Bates. She is on Instagram. You can find her on there. I will put her name below so that there's no mistakes made. And Susan has just released this lovely book. I have several of Susan's books. Like floral motifs, like a sampler book. She has some really stunning designs. You will recognise her designs from lots of the cross-stitching magazines. She is featured quite heavily in many issues. Beautiful designs. I have a whole back catalogue of designs by Susan that I want to stitch. So when the publishers contacted me to see if I would like a copy of her latest book, I was very excited. And sadly, my copy did get lost in the post, so I should have had this to share with you before the actual release date. That has now been and gone before my copy turned up and found its way to me. But the good news is that means that you can go out and buy it straight away. So it is a book for cross-stitching little dolls. There are 20 doll designs to stitch that you can just stitch as they are. So 3 of them are shown on the front here, and then there's some other ones that you can see on the back. And this one is a repeat from the front, but these 2 are different. So there's male and female dolls, different skin tones, lots of different outfits. And if I show you the contents page here, flip to this side, look at all those beautiful little dolls. I will zoom in for you. So 5 on the top row, another 5, another 5, and the final row. So yeah, so many gorgeous little dolls. And then there is a mix and match option, so you can actually mix and match parts together. I'm trying to avoid showing you the charts, but I can't really, because all the mix and match parts are just in chart form. If I just give you a really quick peek, just as an example, a very quick peek. It is literally like this. So you have like legs. Did you see that? I hope you saw that. So there's like legs, There's like body parts, like dresses, shorts, tops, so you can customize the outfits. So yes, you can design yourself as a doll, design your loved ones as a doll. I'm going to stitch one doll each for my 2 children, which is really going to test my finishing skills because I'm not the most confident finisher. But this book does have full instructions, and it does say no sewing machine is required. You just need to hand stitch the panels together to complete your dolls. So yes, this is one for the future, hopefully the not too distant future, because I would like to stitch one of these for Daisy and Hadley while they can still enjoy them. But I just think they're fun for any age. Like, who doesn't want a little mini-me cross-stitched doll? I'll see how the ones go for the kids. I'll practice on them. And if those 2 go well and I manage to finish them nicely, I might stitch one of myself. That would be quite fun. So yeah, lovely book by Susan. And it is available on Amazon for sure, and I think Susie may or may not have it in her own Etsy shop. Like I said, if you head over to Susie's Instagram, you'll find plenty of posts about the new book on her own Instagram, and I'm sure that there you can find the links, places to buy it, and all that jazz. But yeah, lovely little book and something just a little bit different to usual. Yeah, I'm definitely going to enjoy giving these a go. This next lovely bit of haul that I've got to share with you is from Megan at Malocca Designs, and this is the reason I've ended up filming today. So I was not 100% in the mood for filming. We've had a really busy morning and I thought, oh, I've not really done much stitching, and then this arrived this morning and I was so excited when I opened it that this like gave me the enthusiasm that I needed to jump into my bedroom, stick the camera on and get this filmed. So thank you for Megan for sending me these with such perfect timing. It really has motivated me to get the camera out today. So Megan has very generously sent me a couple of her beautiful kits. I have been following her brand on Instagram, Malocca Designs, for quite some time now, and I always really do admire her mandala animals. I have a couple of favourites. But I've never actually taken the plunge on stitching one, and that is going to change because Megan has sent me 2 lovely kits. The first one is the Mandala Bear. How gorgeous is that, with all the lovely colours? Really nice. And this design comes with a gorgeous matching needle minder as an optional extra. Just trying to find the right one. Of course it was the last one that I checked, of course it was. So you have these really cute little envelopes, and inside, look at this, is a gorgeous needle minder that actually matches. It is 100% matchy with the bear design. Isn't it beautiful? So yes, this particular kit, the bear kit, you can get the optional extra minder, and quite a lot of the kits, not all, but quite a lot of the kits do come with the matching option. If you have a look on the website, these kits all come with 14 count Aida and DMC threads. And you can also buy PDFs for the vast majority of designs. So if you would prefer to self-kit and you love the design and the pattern, but you want to do it on even weave, or you want to like do it on a fancy fabric, you can literally just buy the patterns in PDF through Malocca's Etsy shop. So all the PDFs are on Etsy. All the kits and things like that, the physical kits and the physical charts, you can find on the actual website. And my other one, my second kit from Megan, is the hedgehog, which I am super excited about. I have loved this hedgehog since I saw it teased on Megan's Instagram. I just think it is absolutely beautiful. And when Megan did message me asking if I would like to have a nosy at a couple of her kits and try stitching them, obviously I didn't request a kit. I was just super grateful for the opportunity to stitch a couple of them, and I did not make any specific requests, but I was sending Megan secret hedgehog vibes. So when this turned up and I opened it, like, I could not have been happier. This is exactly what I would have picked if I had been choosing the designs for myself. I just love this hedgehog. And again, the little hedgehog comes with a gorgeous matching minder. So cute. So yeah, I'm over the moon. Thank you, Megan, and I really look forward to stitching these. As an extra little bonus, because I am Cross Stitch Bunny, Megan did also send me the bunny minder, which is lovely. So yeah, I love all of this stuff. You can find all of Megan's details here. So this is her Instagram, her website, and I think her Etsy. No, the Etsy is not on there actually, but you've got the info email address, the Instagram name, and the website. And then, like I said, there is also an Etsy store if you are wanting PDF patterns specifically, if you just want to buy those digital products. Also, if you are buying directly from Megan's web address listed on here, you can use the code BUNNY15 and that will give you 15% off your order, which is lovely. So yeah, Megan sent me some lovely kits, and then she's also got a special code for you to treat yourself as well, 15% off. I guess the only thing I've got left is to share a little bit more life update for those of you that are interested in listening. So we've had my whole eye fiasco, which was the bad news that I had to share with you. I do also have some really happy news. So my really happy news is that after 14 years of being together and 2 children later, myself and Adam have actually decided to set a date to be married. We have been engaged for an incredibly long time, and then for one reason or another, actually setting a date just never materialised. We were together for 8 years before we had any children, and sort of prior to having children, the cost of a wedding and all those things seemed like a lot. We were busy working on our house and all that kind of thing. And then children came along very close together. Children do not have a large age gap. And then there was an element of vanity in it, that I didn't want to get married when I was pregnant, and I also didn't want to get married until I was looking how I wanted to look after babies. And then it's just got to the point where we were like, there's never going to be a right time. There's never going to be a right time, and if we carry on waiting, before I know it, it could be another 14 years, and it's something we've both wanted to do for a really, really long time, and other things have just been prioritised and it's not happened. So we are correcting that, and we decided to just phone up and find out the availability with our local, within our local area, what dates are available. And we are now planning a wedding for the first week of May. We are now on the 15th of March and I'm getting married in the first week of May. So yes, life is currently chaos. That is another reason why Flosstube episodes will definitely be monthly for at least the next couple of months, because not only am I having to keep it kind of quite low-key with my stitching, not doing too much, I've also now got a wedding to plan. Although it is going to be a small affair, it's still a lot of planning, a lot of different balls to juggle. And then on top of all of that, as if that was not enough, we had a phone call last night from an estate agent. We had inquired about a specific house that we absolutely loved. And there have been a lot of houses that we have loved over the years, but this one was the house. We both adored it. It's perfect. It's perfect for us. It's perfect for our dogs. It's perfect for everything. We love where it is. This is the house that we wanted. We did put in an offer, this was a little while ago now. The offer was not accepted. It was countered with obviously a higher amount, and we just didn't go back to them. We were like, no, we'll just have to stick a pin in that dream, and it's not happening. And we decided there was no other houses we could find that we really, really loved, and we've not gone on the market. As a result, we've stayed off the market, thinking we would go on in spring, summer, as in late spring, early summer of this year. That's when our garden looks the best. I've mentioned this before, that is when everything looks fabulous. So we've then had this phone call saying, are you still interested in the house? And now your offer would be accepted, but obviously you need to be proceedable. So yeah, this happened last night, and then Adam and I are like, oh my goodness, like it is the dream house, the one that we wanted, that would be perfect for us, for our family, for everything. So now we're like, we have to get this house up. Now, luckily, I did a lot of work on decluttering, tidying. We did a lot of work towards the back end of last year when we thought that we were going to get up at the back end of last year. And prior to that, I'd also done a lot of work sort of earlier in the middle of last year, because there's been like 2 occasions now in the last 12 months where we've been very close to listing the house, and then for one reason or another, we haven't. So quite a lot of the hard work has been done, but obviously when you're living in a house and you've got 2 small children, everything is constantly a battle and constantly getting messed up all over again. So yes, we are not show home presentable at this point, and we need to be. So that is going to be my life for the next couple of months. Less stitching, getting ready to get married, and with house preparations for listing the house as soon as possible thrown into the mix as well. It's all going to be keeping me extremely busy. So yeah, thank you for watching today. If you've got to the end of this slightly rambling episode with me talking about a lot of stuff that isn't stitching related, then I really appreciate it. Thank you for bearing with me and watching until the end. I will see you all. I'm not going to disappear from Flosstube, but I am going to reduce my frequency, I think. So you may not see me for a little while, although that being said, this is a mid-month update, and I think the OCD in me will not let me leave it for a month and then do it mid-month. Like, that just seems messy to me. What I may do is do an end of month roundup at the end of this month, so end of March, whether it's a 5-minute episode with like a couple of hours of stitching to show you or whatever it ends up being. I will film at the end of March to round off the month nicely, because that's just how my brain wants to work. But going forward from my episode at the end of the month, I will probably reduce my frequency for the foreseeable. Hopefully until my eyes have recovered properly and are in a much better place and all these other crazy plans are out of the way. So yes, thank you. Lots of exciting things in my future to look forward to. And I am really looking forward to doing lots of lovely stitching, but I do just have to take it easy. It's one of those things. Look after your eyes, ladies. They are precious. And I've definitely had a big scare this month. Make sure you are not sat staring at your stitching for 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, which I'm sure we are all guilty of. I am guilty of it. I don't believe that my stitching has caused this issue, but it's probably not helped that I would have really long stitching binges maybe without getting up and just basically forgetting to blink, I guess. Like, you're just staring at your stitching and your needle and you're not necessarily thinking about blinking. I think I'm obviously predisposed to it is what I've been told, but then my hobby and other things on top have probably not helped. So yes. If your eyes are giving you any concerns, please go and get them checked out. You do not want to end up like I did at the end of last weekend, because it was not pleasant. It was not a good experience. Take care, everybody, and lots of happy stitching for you. I will see you when I see you, hopefully end of this month. Before I go, news flash. This is not quite the end. I've just remembered something super important. This is not an afterthought. My brain is just full of 1,000 things at the moment. Although my Flosstube episodes are going to become a bit less frequent, at least for the foreseeable future, I do have some really exciting news for you, and news that I'm really excited about, which is that my best stitchy friend Sarah, Cross Stitch Mad Sarah on Instagram, has started a Flosstube, and I am super excited. I was so excited when she told me. She actually filmed her very first episode on my birthday. So yes, I felt like it was a present just for me that I've been asking her to do Flosstube for such a long time, and she finally took the plunge at the back end of last month. So yes, if you have not watched her Flosstube episode number 1 yet, please do go and have a look. Give Sarah some love and some support. Subscribe, like, comment on her videos, show her some Flosstube love and welcome her to the Flosstube universe. Her first video is great. To be honest, I don't even need to cajole you into going over and watching, because I'm sure that once you discover her, you will love her videos. She has such a bubbly personality, beautiful stitching. Yes, there's nothing not to like. So yes, just a little shout out for lovely Sarah. Go over and check out her first episode if you haven't already. It is 100% worth spending a little bit of your time to watch. She's just great. She's lovely. There we go. There is my Sarah update. Now it's goodbye. Bye everyone.